Hello and welcome to From the Spirit World, a legendary Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra podcast for dongbufang.net. I'm your main host, Dylan, and today I'm joined by Sam
Hi.
and Delaney.
Yo.
We are live on video after the Legend of Korra Book 3 premiere. It's very exciting. 3 episodes aired tonight. So welcome everyone watching live, watching archived on YouTube, and who's listening to the audio of this. If you're listening to the audio, there's a link to the YouTube video in the description of the podcast. So if you're live with us, you can send us your comments or questions in the comments of the YouTube video, or tweet at us with the hashtag FTSW, and we will reply during the live show. Very exciting. This is a spoiler-free podcast for episodes 4 to 6. If you weren't aware, episodes 4 to 6 leaked in the Spanish dub of them leaked. We won't be discussing that. You're completely safe with spoilers, etc.
And you deserve a medal for avoiding that.
For avoiding them, yes. But yeah, no discussion of that other than they are good. But we'll get them in 2 weeks, at least episode 4. And also, no spoilers in the YouTube comments, please. If this is your first time listening, or I guess now watching From the Spirit World, because it's our first video podcast, there's more info at the end of the show.
Did we have one like a few years ago?
We had a live audio podcast years ago, but yeah, we've never done video. We'll have a full audio podcast recap of the premiere next weekend, because there's no Korra episode next weekend. We'll be back with episode 4 for Korra in 2 weeks. So let's get right into it, guys. There's a very exciting premiere, at least I think. Let's go around the horn. Starting with Delaney. What did you think of the 3 episodes overall, basically, and how do you think the quality of Book 3 will be from the judging from these episodes?
Well, I love the first 3 episodes. Awesome, beautiful. I just loved it. I mean, I think we were talking about, on Skype, the dialogue was kind of meh the first episode, but second episode, and then the second episode was funny. I think this season's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. I don't think I've been this excited for any season of Korra, other than the first one where we were like, oh my god! But I mean, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be great. I have high hopes, which was a complete turnaround from me being like, oh my god, 3rd season of Korra, it's gonna be terrible. I was wrong. I'm so glad to be wrong.
Good. So, Sam, what do you think?
I think that so far it is miles above season 2, in that it is better paced, more funny, and the story makes much more sense so far. So I have high hopes for this season. It made me happy and giggle.
Yeah, it made you happy. That's good. That's good.
It's important.
Yeah, I thought these were easily 3 of the best Korra episodes we've seen. It's kind of astounding how we've seen such a contrast in quality from the first 2 Korra books. Not that they were bad, but they were kind of meh at times, especially the beginning of book 2. And now we just start off with easily 3 of the best episodes. It's very encouraging. We'll talk about some specifics here, but just the pace of the episodes was starkly different. And episode 2 was basically a full comedy episode, which we've never seen before from Korra. It's pretty crazy, and I don't really understand why they changed. There weren't significant crew changes between books 2 and 3. We still have the same writers.
Maybe they got more inspiration.
Yes, more inspiration.
They're like, wait, we're doing it wrong. Let's try again.
We're doing everything wrong. We need to fix it.
Yeah, everything, just different.
I mean, I don't think the other Korra books were necessarily wrong. It's just it seems kind of crazy they didn't discover this new system for Korra. I don't know. It's not really a new system. It's kind of comparable to Avatar almost.
It's like the right thread. Like they found it. They found their groove. This only took 2 seasons, but they're there.
Yeah, it's like this much slower pace. This not a necessity to have the story just on every single minute. We can take breaks from the story, and we can only have the villain stuff happen every third of the episode, and we can just cut there for a little bit. And also just another thing is that the action beats seem much better, which is I also don't understand why that would have improved. Maybe it's because we're getting a full year of Studio Mir. That could be pretty good. As opposed to in Book 2 where you have Studio Pro with less quality animation. Anyway, so getting into specifics, the top story I would say from these 3 episodes is random airbenders popping up everywhere. Airbenders are back. Yes, and I think this has been a pretty contentious point in the fandom since we learned that this would be happening. And I wanted to know what you guys thought how they handled this, because this is something that people would call fan fiction-y, you know. This plot thread that's just completely contradicting the title of the first show. Like
The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I had to argue with my mom
Actually,
about it.
that's
She was so confused. I had to explain it to her. She's like, but Aang.
But Aang, yes. Well,
She was like, what?
Aang also gone from Korra's spirit pass now, as I know you're very upset about. But yeah. So how do you think they handled it? Do you think were you satisfied with the explanation? Do you think it even matters? Delaney, why don't you start?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that they're covering it is what's important. Like, we needed this. Like, we needed this moment. We needed them. Like, this had to happen. Otherwise, we can't have the Avatar. You know, there had to be more. And the balance to the world, but we don't really have an explanation yet. I'm not really too satisfied with just harmonic convergence. I'm hoping we'll get a bit more. If not, I mean, I'm not going to be like upset. It's fine. It works. We've had less detail in the past, so this is actually a step in the right direction. I'm fine with it. I'm not really bothered. I think it's fine.
What do you think?
As is. Like, we're 3 episodes in. This is good.
Yeah, it is only 3 episodes, and we are judging a little bit early. But Sam, what do you think?
Sam thinks that it was kind of a stupid idea, but they're making it work, you know? Like, I really liked how they handled these people who are, like, suddenly becoming airbenders. I really like how they handled that, and I look forward to looking how they're going to handle it throughout the season. Yeah, I think it is a very fanfiction-y idea, but I think they're going to make it work somehow. Better than last season's fanfiction.
Yeah, honestly, I think that every major plot advancement they make in the Avatar world at this point does seem unrealistic, because we have such an established sense of the Avatar world and the mythology of it. So when we come up with something like, oh, there's more airbenders, even though that's kind of out of the blue, it's going to be the same as almost anything. Like last season, we explored the spirit world, and all of that just seemed very nonsensical to a certain extent, but that's just because we're so ingrained of what they gave us in Avatar, which in certain elements was not, no pun intended, was not a lot of establishment in the mythology. It's a lot of there is an Avatar and there is this Avatar state in the past.
How is that no pun intended?
It was not, because I thought of it afterwards. That's why. But anyway.
Make a pun.
Yes, no, I would like to think I was that smart, but I really do. I think that every major plot development at this point will seem weird, but I also don't think this explanation was that great. I think that if there's a criticism to be made of this Airbenders thing, it's that, oh, harmonic convergence, and we're supposed to accept that.
Yeah.
But if I would say, try to look past that and try to just take the season for what it is, because at some point you have to like establish the main thread of the season, and then we can move on and get the actual good stuff of the season, like what we're getting with these 3 episodes and the next few as well.
Whenever you're revisiting something, I mean, we're going to have that problem of, well, this doesn't seem like this is real, like this is made up. So that's really like the essence of Korra. Like, we're revisiting something we thought we knew. So when they change stuff, we're like, hey, put the carpet back, stop it.
Yeah, I agree. And so yeah, I'm not super satisfied with the explanation, but I do think they're pulling it off here in these 3 episodes. Yeah. They did it better than I thought they would. They gave it a lot of time.
The humor.
Yeah, they made it a big source of humor for the show, which was really unexpected. Just specifically episode 2, how much that was humor based.
It was so Avatar-like, which of course it's good. Obviously, we liked Avatar. But I don't know. Yeah, it really did though. It had that Avatar feel, and I enjoyed the map. That cracked me up.
Yeah, that map. Well, we'll get to that, I guess. Let's stick with Airbenders for a minute. We see, I guess, how they approach this in different ways through different people. We get a new character of it with Kai. I'm sure we'll see when we meet tons of new Airbenders. We get it with a character who we've already seen in Boomy. What do you guys think of Boomy suddenly learning to airbend? I think there's an easy criticism to make in that this takes away from Boomy's non-bender pride that he's had, and which is on display in last season. One of the last episodes just completely was almost about him like being awesome despite not bending. Are you annoyed by this, or can you accept it?
Maybe airbending is going to be taken away.
You think the airbending is going to go away at some point?
Yeah.
It seems like they're not just going to like.
I don't know. I feel like they might do that.
Yeah.
I think it suggests there's a motive, or like some sort of almost reward system. Like maybe there is some like method to the madness of who gets airbending, or really I think a lot of it was we need to bring Aang back, even though we can't see Aang anymore. Ugh. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna be quick before I start screaming about it. But they're really. I mean, especially the first episode, was it just Aang, stop, we're gonna cry. Do you have to keep talking about him? And then I think they did that to Boomy to kind of like just his child. Look, now he has airbending. Aang is gone. He can't learn from his dad. But I think it was kind of like more of like a let's bring Aang back as much as we can without actually being able to bring Aang back.
I didn't expect that Aang pathos moment with just your grandfather. That whole airbending. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. It's like, we're getting airbenders, so we're gonna have this scene with Tenzin and his family and to mention Aang. It was very emotional, though. I thought it was pretty well done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I mean, anytime you're gonna do that, it was great. And of course, and really, it was almost better than the flashbacks. Them doing that. Just we need that in the now. Referencing the old series, and like just cementing the relationships that we will never get to see, but they're there.
Yeah, I think this is more effective for me emotionally than the flashbacks. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but I think flashing back to the characters 50 years after we've seen them isn't necessarily going to elicit inherent pathos just because of the old series. Like, I think maybe if we saw them like 5 years after, but now that we're seeing our current characters who we have, who are emotionally attached to, and seeing them relate to the characters of the old show, I think that's a really good way to approach it.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say the second biggest, story to come out of tonight is the slower pace, and we've talked about this a little bit. Just how un-Korra like these Korra episodes were.
It's watchable. What?
Yeah, it seems much more Avatar-y,
Good.
which is probably good. I think we all enjoy that pace more, maybe. But I think Korra has had good and bad examples of its frantic plot pacing that we've seen. But I think it's interesting to see how they're unilaterally going away from that with this season. We've seen 3 episodes now, and all 3 have just had this slower paced feel. And I think it's definitely a good thing. I think the comedy of the second episode, which we mentioned, we had that chibi map, which was crazy. Like, we've never seen anything like that on Korra. I guess the closest would be it was pretty adorable. I guess the closest would be the anime effects in book 1, like with Iki and
Korra with like the lightning.
Yeah, Korra had it.
Oh yeah, Korra.
But this was like on a new level. I did not expect that at all.
It's like, what? Is this the same show anymore?
Yeah, I know. And we have in episode 2 we have the John. What's his name, Sam?
John Hader.
John Hader, who played Napoleon Dynamite. We're pretty sure he did the voice of that.
Well, if he didn't, then that was totally.
It was him. I think the Nickelodeon Twitter account kind of said as much. And so yeah, we are live, so we can't check the credits to make sure that's correct. But that was so great. The hipster Brian Konietzko modeled young age representation character. That was like. Who even wrote that?
Like, who did that?
Are these our writers? Like, Josh Hamilton wrote that episode, and seemingly did a great job, but that was so weird and different, and I loved it, honestly. But and it kind of had nothing to do with the plot. That's the thing. I think that's like the takeaway here. That just had nothing to do with the overall Korra plot. Sure, he was an airbender and they're trying to recruit him, but it's like we can step away within the context of the plot, but not necessarily relating back all that much and establish this. And I think the other big comedy thing from that episode was the fake play, or the play about the
like razzle dazzle.
the razzle dazzle. Yeah, it's crazy. That was very obviously very Ember Island players ish.
The Airbender Circus.
The Airbender Circus. Would you guys enjoy that?
Yeah.
Yes, Tenzin shirtless. Who wouldn't enjoy that? Hello.
Oh, that's
Bolin is perfect.
Bolin is
Mustache. I don't understand.
Yeah. Comments from Silinbor. Sorry if I mispronounced it. I think the slower pace helps with the shock value of the big reveals. I think that's probably. I think that's a good point because the Sam now with the mustache. I think that the slower pace makes the villain breakout moments that we saw in the episode much more effective. I think much more jarring from the rest and having a bigger emotional impact.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
especially with last season, we'd have really you couldn't even be shocked because it was just happening so quickly, and then you have to recover for 30 minutes after the episode to process everything you'd seen. Other than Iroh, where we were just all freaking out, but just
last season, yeah, especially in episode Peacekeepers, which is of last season, which is my least favorite episode, when we just have plot, and nothing is big anymore. Now we can slow down, and now these random. Also kind of fanfiction-y villains that we're getting just have much more of an impact on the show.
You can recognize big moments now.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Another, I would say, okay, moving on a little bit. The third big story I would say is just the character moments. I want to specifically focus on the Korra and Asami moments we see in these episodes because we got 3 of them. Right,
they need to just date already.
They really do.
Full disclosure, I don't know if Sam was shipping Korsami until now, but maybe she does after these.
They just come on.
They have to.
They have to date now.
Friends
don't act like that.
So we see the previous 2 seasons of Korra and Asami don't interact ever. Once in book 1, and then
Asami's background.
Yeah, Asami in the background when Korra's in a scene. Then
Asami doing so much better things with their time than fighting Unalaq.
Yeah, running a company which she seemingly doesn't care about anymore. That's not even talked about. But anyway, we get Korra and Asami learning how to drive.
That was the cutest thing I've ever seen ever.
That was really, really good.
Oh my God,
we get the fight scene in episode 3 and just the Asami coming off the airship. I think
just the Asami facial expressions where she just looks like she's going to eat Korra alive. Every time they pan over Asami, it's okay. Cracks me up. It's beautiful. Korsami is canon. We have proof.
I don't know if I'd call this proof. Korra did say girlfriends, but maybe in a different.
I hate when people do
Zataran, so I don't see why not Korsami is real.
But I think more in terms of the actual what they're doing with this Korra and Asami friendship in terms of the plot of the show. I think it's really good. I was extremely surprised how well they handled this in the context of the Makora breakup at the end of last season. We have Mako being awkward, which is somehow Mako goes from kind of sympathetic last season, but still coming off of book 1 where he was completely intolerable, and now he's just super sympathetic because he's so.
He's
awkward.
Actually
he's adorable. He's actually a person.
Awkward is his only emotion now, so I think we should keep it that way, and then hopefully being sympathetic.
I agree.
That'd be good.
See, my whole thing, I wanted him to have a new personality. Now it's awkward, and now he can be a person.
Well, he's kind of one-dimensional in a different way now, that he's just awkward all the time.
But I mean, it's more likable than the other one dimension, so why not?
We'll take what we can get,
Exactly.
I'm really impressed with how how they're handling the Korra and Asami friendship in the context of them talking about Mako and them like very quickly addressing the past elements of the show, which I didn't really expect them to do. I thought like if they were going to do that, it would be not handled well. Like it would just be bringing up bad past elements of the show. So why bring that up again? But they do it. They bring up these things that are maybe problem plot points in the previous seasons, and they execute on, and they talk, the way they talk about them and address them is just really well done and addresses
and it's realistic.
It's realistic. It addresses a completely new character relationship in the show. And I also think it also at the same time serves to further make Korra's character sympathetic and improve on just humanizing her. Now we have her having an actual friendship, like, and it's I guess since season 1 with Bolin, it's great. Like the way they address so many disparate aspects of the show with that, and I just thought it was well done.
It was awesome, and especially, I mean, again, you were talking about Korra like being sympathetic. If it'd been any of the other seasons, Korra, well, she did jump in the car, but in the first season, or whatever, she crashed the car. Well, this teacher's like, "Are you sure you want me to drive?" Like that never would have happened. Other 2 seasons, she'd have been like, "Yeah," and then just like completely just destroyed the car. But she was actually driving slowly. We have like cautious Korra in the giant death machine. So that's some character growth. Korra is actually a person.
Yeah, I think on one hand that, on the other hand, we still maintain Korra's key plot elements in her just complete, I don't know what the right word is, but her hot-headedness, but it's like, it's channeled in a way in questioning authority, which we've seen it before, but I think she's sympathetic almost in every time she questions authority in this season.
But also helps that President, what's his face, is the meanest person.
Reich, no.
Reich, oh no.
Reich, no.
What was that headline like? Reich, oh no. Line with the thing.
In the thing, yeah, exactly.
And then the Earth Queen, like, these people are terrible.
Yeah, so it helps that the things she's opposing are bad, but also I just think the way she handles it is better.
Yes. I mean, she's not shoving people down Naga's throat, so
that helps for sure.
Where's Tano? What happened to him?
He doesn't exist anymore. I don't know why.
He's not a person.
Did he die?
No, he didn't die.
That's not good.
He just doesn't exist. And I think the last major thing we should discuss is the new villains. These guys and Zuko helping to find them. Zuko's back. What do you guys think of Zuko being back?
He's not Dante Basco.
He is not Dante Basco. I, for one, am in favor of him not being Dante Basco.
I'm not.
So
Dante Basco's
weird
like 40.
At first, but I got used to it.
Dante Basco is like 40 years old, and he still has that voice. So I don't buy it. Nope. You don't go from that voice to like old grandpa.
Dante Basco ages and does not change his voice, therefore Zuko ages, and I can see that. But it would just be weird hearing Dante Basco doing 70-year-old Zuko. That would just be very odd.
That would be so awesome.
I mean, I'm okay. Like, at first I was like, "Oh, Zuko, don't talk," but then I was like, "Oh no, this is okay. This is cool."
And I think the way they handle Zuko's character, I think they maybe a little bit struggled with writing the older versions of the characters. Not like that they are bad representations of them, but that it's just we don't get these. I don't get the feel that they are them. That they're the young.
Like, it's harder because we haven't seen the transition. It's just like we have 17-year-old 17-year-old Zuko. Now we have like 90-something-year-old Zuko, and we're like, okay.
Are you the same person that you were when you were 12?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I think it's a really hard thing to establish. But are you the same person? But I think they did it well with Zuko. I think we have that line in book 3, the kill the I tried to kill the Avatar in a
the elevator scene.
It's like, oh, that didn't work.
It didn't work. I thought that was great. And it was very Zuko-like. And it also, for me, it calls back the That's Rough Buddy scene from...
That's what Mako was reminding me of, like how he's acting. I'm like, you're Zuko. Like, this is how Zuko would act, because Zuko is a dork.
Well, he is Zuko 2.0.
Well, yeah, he's the brooding firebender. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, I just felt like the awkward Mako. I was like, you're Zuko, because this is how Zuko would act, because Zuko is the biggest dork ever. Which I'm kind of hoping for old Zuko dork. Like,
can we just see old Zuko and Mako just being awkward and dorks together? Would that be good?
Yeah, what if they meet? That would be so cool.
I kind of don't want them to meet. I don't know.
But Zuko would say something like, he'd either say something really, really just terribly dorky, or, oh no, don't be me, kid, don't do it. Or offhand honor jokes, that'd be good.
What about Honora? Are we gonna see her?
I assume we will see Honora at some point, and if you're unaware, Honora is the fan name for Zuko's daughter.
We've seen every ruler of every nation except Honora.
Maybe they're building to a book 4 reveal of Honor. Maybe it's this book because Zuko's here and now we get to see the
What
daughter.
if they actually name her?
I will die.
It's not happening, but we can hope.
It's either Honora or Ursa. Those are the only two options.
Honor Ursa. Back to they'll do Ursa later. That's so much a thing they would do. Back to the villain, Zahir. What do you guys think of Zahir? What do you think of his voice? What do you think of?
Is he the guy whose voice doesn't match his face?
Yes.
He's Henry Rollins, and yeah.
Oh, I need to go back and watch that. Jeez, I didn't notice I was Henry Rollins. Okay.
I didn't really have a problem with his voice until Sam said something, and I was like, yeah, kinda.
Oh, sorry. Must display this comment from Ty, who says, "Are Korra and Asami gonna kiss or what?" Paul,
yes.
Right?
They have to.
We agree with you, Talia.
Yes.
They need to make that canon. If they don't make it canon, I'm just gonna start watching the show.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Don't string me along like that,
We won't know until the very end, so how are you gonna...
Even a platonic kiss, I'll be fine. They have to kiss at some point.
Does that exist? I don't know.
Like a kiss on the cheek?
Yeah, a kiss on the cheek.
Okay, fine. I don't know if we'll see it, but we can hope.
Anything.
Zahir, yeah, he doesn't have much of a character established yet.
And he keeps changing his appearance, and I feel really betrayed. You just can't keep changing your appearance.
Okay, alright. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
No spoilers.
Never mind.
Yes, yeah.
Later.
So I think it's hard to make judgments on Zahir yet. We don't know his motives. We don't know his personality really at all.
He's very.
We don't even know what he looks like. He keeps changing his appearance.
Well, he kind of appears on the show, so we do know what he looks like. But
But every other character, like Zuko, everyone wears the same outfit. And then we have this stupid character showing up, changed his hair.
It's like
every
some
15 minutes.
by gender stuff.
So I think regardless of how Zahir was handled, I really like how they transitioned from there's airbendings popping up, and it's like, oh, Tenzin's like, all the great things they can do for the world, and then we see Zahir in the person.
No.
It's like, no, this is not it's not how it's going to work. And I thought that was really well done. It's a really interesting concept. It's like, okay, we're changing the Avatar world there's airbenders. So what's going to happen? Well, maybe there's a guy in a prison, because we've seen people locked up in prisons of the opposite element before, and now he can break out.
They're all in such remote places.
It makes sense, but
yeah.
Except to kind of bit them with the whole guard change thing. Maybe they should have seen that coming. What do you think of the whole non-bender turning into an airbender as the villain type thing? We don't really see much of it here because it's just always instantly an airbender. But if we ever go back to reverting back to non-benders, this could be interesting.
I imagine it's kind of like a foil to Boomy. Oh, we have Boomy. Oh, now we have this bad dude.
You have to think we're heading towards a Boomy Zahir face-off.
Maybe. We don't know.
Maybe they were enemies.
They could have been. Yeah, we don't know. The problem is with inserting plot lines like this is you think we would have heard of it by now.
Yeah.
It's there's these 4 prisons, and this is. I do like how they're changing the whole. This is how we found the Avatar type thing. This is
a fanfic.
It seems very far.
I wouldn't be surprised if I find this season on fanfiction.net from 2013.
Wow, from a whole year ago. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say 2012, but I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
The other villains. We get this Earthbender. I think I tried to write down his name. I don't even remember though. He's
guy in the wood prison.
Yeah, he seems not as important, but
he's just a dude.
He can magma bend. So I've heard a lot of complaints about that because we kind of seen him doing that in the trailer. And the problem is, before the common complaint, which I'll voice, is that we've previously only seen magma bending from avatars, and it's implied that it's a combination of earth and fire bending.
Why did they put him in a wooden prison? Oh, wait.
No, that was
I think that was kind of like, it was almost a throwback to the Crab.
yeah, that
the
was
runaway.
the runaway from Avatar.
Yeah, but
That was Katara, though, you know.
fire,
Well, I mean, they had Toph in there too.
wood,
Firewood, yes.
burns.
Well, he's
But
I guess
magma
He's an
comes from
earthbender.
Earth.
I guess they knew he had but he can apparently generate fire somehow too.
God,
just
this is like some
weird.
weird stuff I came
Because
up
like
with
the
when I
water,
was 13.
like I think it's. I mean, it looks like they're trying to give every element like some like mega class like a skill, but all of them make sense except magma bending. There's
Well,
not like there's fire inside of the rock.
Earth already has the what
Metal
the
bending.
metal bending.
Why
yeah.
is Earth OP? Like why?
I don't know.
It's
Water's
trying
kind of
to
OP too.
conserve water.
Blood bending's pretty sick.
Water and Earth. They're just trying to.
And then if you're an airbender, I mean, you're just out of luck because there's like none of you. But
Cloud bending.
Cloud bending, yeah. Well, we have a comment. We got a tweet from Melanie, aka Free Spirit, on Twitter. What do you think of the new sub element of airbending? I think Zahir mentioned it. I don't. Do you guys remember that, him mentioning a sub element?
what?
I don't know. See that
A sub element to airbending?
Yeah, I don't know if that was.
I don't know what that would be.
Well, you'd think we'd see something like that. Now that it's like last season was air, but now this season is actually air.
You know, it's real air. It's like really air. It's air part 2.
They should change the title from change. Make it really air.
Yeah, really air.
Really air, you guys.
Paul
Air
says wood prison on the ocean means no earth to bend. Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it would contain it. It's just.
But then again, you have the ocean, and then you have like the bottom of the ocean, which is Earth. So
Well, my question is, so is like the boat just like, does it stay? Is there an anchor, or is it just like he's on a floating prison?
I don't know. I think he's probably
really,
just
with
on a
the
floating
things that
prison.
these people are doing, I wouldn't be surprised if he could bend Earth from the bottom of the ocean.
That's true.
It seems like it's pretty far away. I guess it depends how shallow it is. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure how I feel entirely about like this high class bending, because like in Avatar it was like only so many people. Now it's like everyone can do everything.
This is like an anime, like Dragon Ball Z.
Tal says Zahir mentioned untethering from the earth.
Oh, that guru guy, like becoming a balloon. Basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what he's saying. It's like that's like a reference to Sorry, Free Spirit. That's like a reference to old to like Buddhist traditions and some of the things that you can supposedly do.
Well, actually, I mean, there could be a hint to something later, like being able to fly without a glider.
Oh, because we saw something like that in the trailer or something. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Untethering from the earth. Is that a spiritual at all? I don't.
Well, I mean, that reminds me of Guru Pathik, and you have to let go of your worldly connections and stuff.
Maybe he just made a cloud house and lived in the clouds.
He's up.
Everything about that, like they did that in Adventure Time. They had cloud houses.
So it's definitely cloud bending, is what we've determined.
Yeah. Okay. That's definitely it. Cloud bending.
Okay.
Why not?
Kayla says, this is the first season opening of both ATLA and Korra where we haven't seen Katara. They weren't kidding about this being a new age.
Oh.
Tears, chest, why?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe she's dead.
Oh my God.
Shut up,
Don't
Sam,
even.
every time.
Okay.
Why do you gotta do this all the time? Every podcast, you're like, Katara's dead.
She needs to die.
She's not dead, and she's not dying.
She
doesn't need to die.
Yes, she does.
I hate you.
It's not even happening. Don't even.
I would just like explode. Not okay.
Yeah, and Melanie on Twitter clarifies weightlessness, as Zahir said. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. See, I'm not sure if he was just like spouting like wise sayings just to make it dramatic when he airbended, or if he's like actually saying like this is something that like that we can do. Because I think what he was saying is he was tying it all into the fact that you like shouldn't expect just what you see or something. You should explore the possibilities, which was kind of dumb because empirical evidence. But
I want to know why they gave him stuff to read.
No, I think he was into like the whole airbending.
He might have been before. Yeah, it seems
Before.
like he was into it before he went to prison. We don't know how old he was when.
That's true.
Yeah.
Think what's her face said 13 years since she had a visitor.
Ah.
Yeah, that's true. So it's been. Yeah, so we know that this. I think
we know things from like the spoilery things.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if we saw this in these episodes or not. I guess not.
Yeah, we saw what's her face in this third episode.
Yeah.
Let's read this long comments from Hokkaido Master. I'm thinking by the end of the season we'll have somehow understood more of how the harmonic convergence work to restore airbending. I'm not sure how we'll learn that information. Maybe a lion turtle or the Oasis spirit guy from Wan's past. Maybe there's some kind of bad side to the sudden something, which I can't read because it doesn't extend that far. But yes, but you have to think they'll address this more in the season. This seems to be the main plot thread throughout the entire season, this airbending thing, and I think we'll get some more of it.
And it seems like they're trying to space the plot out more, so I'm sure we'll have. I'm kind of done with lion turtles, you know.
We've only just begun.
You have like so many bajillion.
I would prefer no more lion turtles. That's just me. I don't think they've been super effective.
Wait,
the whole Earth is made up of lion turtles. The Earth's crust in the Avatar world, lion turtles.
It's probably true.
That's why earthquakes happen.
Probably.
Probably true. Stuff from the first episode we haven't necessarily talked about. The whole how they handle Republic City, I think, is interesting. We have a comment from Tal on that. Actually, I was surprised how quickly they abandoned the Spirit Vines plotline. I'm expecting Republic City to be a real messed up when they get back.
Probably.
It's going to be like, have you ever seen that episode of Danny Phantom?
Oh no.
The one where like this like plant ghost is like terrorizing Amity Park.
But anyway,
Amityville, right?
I think the key here is that episode 1 represents a leaving of Republic City, and maybe a putting that behind in the overall plot line. Maybe we won't even come back to Republic City.
But my thing's like, who gave the president? Who gave the president authority to kick out the spirit of the world incarnate? Like, who are you, sir?
Also, let's talk about the approval ratings.
The Avatar's not elected?
Approval rating, or what are they going to do? Are they going to like kill her?
So the only thing they could do with the approval rating is get a new Avatar. But that
these people are sassy. You know, back in Avatar, like in Last Airbender world, you know, you don't talk this crap about the Avatar. I don't know who these people think they are.
You
know, there was the Fire Nation, but like, this is ridiculous. These little.
Aang was just that good of an Avatar.
I guess. There's that statue.
I really love the whole 8% line. I thought that was funny. I think it fits the.
Mainly because Asami's there. Let's not lie.
Just gonna like kill her. Just be like, oh, let's get a new Avatar.
I think I like it because it's funny and it represents this this feel that they're going for with Republic City, the whole 20s and the politics.
Like the modern,
Yeah, and I think even though it doesn't make any sense, like it's fine because it's just one line. And now we're abandoning that side of the show. It should be noted, what evidence is there anymore that this is the 20s? Like it's also more Avatar-y because we don't see all these technological innovations.
And because of Ba Sing Se, especially since we revisit.
Yeah, so let's get into Ba Sing Se a little bit.
It still sucks.
It's interesting how they're now choosing to revisit a place from Avatar, and
that was so important to Avatar also.
It was so important. It was such a direct representation how they did it compared to how they handled it in the past. Because it's such a similar way of handling the spotlight. It's like kind of the same things. The Dai Li is still there, and they still have the leader. I guess one thing to note is that they're like flipping the political system of Ba Sing Se. Now the Grand Secretariat is just the guy who's just completely subservient to the Queen, whereas there's the opposite in Avatar. I think that's interesting.
They learned their lesson from Long Pang.
Now they're going to the extreme opposite.
How does King Kwai have a daughter who has backbone? That's what I don't understand. Kwai, how'd you manage that one?
Who is Kwai having a daughter with is the real question here. I think that's
the biggest mystery.
Yes.
That's
We need
How,
flashbacks to see Quay mating his soulmate.
And then she's allergic to animals. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's like
She
this
must be
opposite
adopted.
of yeah, like, right? Because that's such the opposite of
Yeah, like
Bosco.
Bosco. What are you talking about? And Bosco wasn't even a hybrid. He was a real bear. Like, I don't understand.
He was a real bear.
How?
I'm a real man.
How are you allergic? Doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
And I think episode 3 represents a lot of plot lines which aren't necessarily super interesting, but I think are done pretty well executed. We kind of talked about this on our spoilers podcast, but we have Kai, who we'll talk about in a second, just being a pickpocket, and I feel like that's not a super interesting plot line.
Yeah, it's kind of like meh.
We have Zuko, or we have I'm confusing Zuko and Mako already. We have Mako and Bolin meeting their family. To
I
me,
thought that was cute.
it was cute. To me, I don't have an inherent emotional connection to that plotline. Like,
Same.
I don't know why, but I'm not gonna be just inherently sympathetic to that. But I think they executed it well enough, and I thought it was well done.
Yes. Like the scarf. Like, that was good.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
All this
I
time,
wasn't gonna cry or anything.
I thought that the dad was the firebender. It was the mom who was from the Fire Nation, not the dad.
It's a big revelations, yes.
Mhm.
And I think the other plotline, it's just all 3 plotlines of the show. The Earth Queen being dumb, and Korra having to put up with that, also is kind of it's not an inherently interesting plotline. But
Those outlaws were so punk rock, though.
that one guy, yeah.
Yeah, he had green hair.
But out of that plotline, we get a great Korra and Asami bonding scene, which I thought was very well done.
Very important.
Yeah, and I don't know. Overall, we get an overall solid episode with an interesting ending, but one whose plot lines I would say aren't as interesting to me as the previous 2 episodes. Let's talk about Kai, because we haven't really talked about him. He seems to be, he was in episodes 2 and 3. Seems like he's going to be a character now.
I used to have his hair.
You did used to have his hair,
I
and that's very important. And
Yes.
the biggest thing about his character is Janora's crush on him, because Jinkai, and that's what that is called. The ship
And it's
name,
canon. It's a
mark it
thing.
down. And it's canon, and everyone ships it, and we're just gonna go with that. But I think so. Like, I have such mixed feelings about Janora and Kai. Basically, Janora getting a love interest. It's like, on one hand, it's like, oh, here's a character who hasn't had a love interest and is now a main character, so we obviously have to give them a love interest. But on the other hand, it's adorable and it's great. So
Yes.
it's like,
And,
I'm kind of
Singapore
against it
Lodge-
on principle, but it seems well executed so far.
I'm really, obviously it's really overdone and just why, but Tenzin's facial expressions are so worth it for him to get mad about it. Like, I know it's really overdone, but I want Tenzin getting mad about it. Like, being overprotective of Jinora. Just because Tenzin's facial expressions are the best.
Yeah, I think that.
It's just
Then
funny.
unfortunately, we
It's
can't see
Tenzin.
that, but yes.
Like, if it was anyone else, it'd be annoying, but because it's Tenzin, it works.
Quick comments from Hokkaido Master. He says, lava is molten rock, there's no fire in it. Waterbenders already have the ability to add or subtract heat to water to create steam or ice, so it makes sense that he can superheat the rock. What do you guys think?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best explanation we have.
I've actually haven't seen an explanation as good as that, so
Who
good job.
cares about science?
Good job.
I think it makes sense. I think it maybe slightly contradicts something we saw in Avatar, but so what?
Yes.
So what? And it's cool. Most importantly, how cool was that looking? The lava / magma that he was bending. It was very well done. That's the general comment. We should talk about the fight scenes too. The Korra and Asami fight, the Earthbender breaking free fight, the Zahir getting out maybe wasn't as flashy, but I thought it was well done.
Yes.
Just all of them with great fight scenes. I'm sorry for jumping around a bit, but we forgot to talk about the consequences of last season's leaving the spirit portals open.
Sonic the Hedgehog was there, and he was yellow.
Yes, we have that random spirit guy at the end of the
Totally
Korra and
ruined
Asami.
Asami.
Yeah, the Korra scene, and it's like, oh yeah, all spirits are in the world now, so that's the thing. That's basically what that was. And we also see Boomchu, obviously. Maybe maybe they're not addressing it enough for me. I know
Maybe
obviously
they just don't care.
I know the whole episode 1 plotline was about that, but it's like, okay, now we're done with okay, there's vines popping up, and that's the consequences of the portals being open, and now we're moving on. And we're just going to talk about airbenders now, which were the result of harmonic convergence, not even the result of leaving the spirit portals open. So I think we have to come back to that. That was too major of a plot development, and it has such a major impact on us. Where there's spirits everywhere. Like we have it. Yeah, there's these vines over. There's spirits, seemingly spirits, living in the Avatar world. Let's get on some of that.
Maybe by banishing Korra from Republic City, they're just trying to banish season 2 away. They just don't want to deal with the consequences, and frankly, neither do I, because season 2 was so boring.
I think that's probably part of the reason why they're having all these extra plot lines is they don't think just these vines and stuff can carry a season, which they're right.
Like,
but it
what
doesn't
about these vines?
Janora the Lorax, as I've said before.
Turn in next week when we find out what happens to the vines. Oops, nothing happened.
Or do it with a vine.
That's what Korra's doing for the vines. Yeah, that's what it would have been if we didn't have episode 3 along with the first 2 episodes. It would have been surprise, no vines anymore. Back to the villains. Ming Hua is here, voiced by Grey Delisle, who's great and amazing. She has no arms and she uses water.
How can she do that? Is she like bending with her toes or like her feet or something?
Yeah, so I don't know. We need to examine that closer to see what she's bending with. Can she just have it's like a voiceless casting spells in Harry Potter? Can you just bend without moving stuff? Is that a new discipline here?
Or maybe it's like how King Boomy was bending with his head with the Return to Amashu episode. Remember?
Wait, yeah.
When he was in that coffin thing.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if we see her doing anything like that.
Well, and also, I think it, you know how it's supposedly all chi or whatever, maybe being able to outwardly, I don't know. Maybe it could even be a idea on the phantom limb and just going on based on that. You still have the sensations and still technically you can still bend, kind of just kind of addressing that a little bit.
An evil waterbender cut off her arms.
I wonder if we'll see that addressed in the show, because she doesn't seem super major yet.
Yeah.
It's I think I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Play, P''L''E, or L''E or L''I.
Combustion Lady.
Combustion Lady, basically.
Yes.
She seems like more of a major character.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole episode 3 dedicated to her breakout, and she's cool and stuff like that. A lot of theories on how she exists, how there's someone else with this power. I don't know if they'll address it.
Combustion Man actually lived, and he had a child.
Yeah. Or he already had a child.
Or the combustion colony, as Dylan and I theorized.
That was the whole
colony of people.
Whole thing about this.
There's no telling. And it could just be, they just crop up. It's just an ability, normal, just it happens.
Yeah, you just show up with, this thing.
It just happens.
Right there.
What's my thing? Is that something they do to, increase their power? Or because it doesn't look the same, I don't think, as combustion. I don't think it's the same. It doesn't look identical. I mean, obviously it's similar.
It might be.
Maybe they go through, a ritual,
yeah.
We are sacrificing you to blow things up with your forehead.
Yes, that's obviously. Who's your favorite of the 4 new villains?
Zahir, because he's voiced by Henry Rollins, and I have to rewatch it to figure out how I missed that. Because Henry Rollins is punk rock.
Delaney?
It's so, I don't know. Obviously not the earthbending guy. He's boring. I'm sorry. He's not boring. It's probably I think Minghua is just, the idea of her is so fascinating, and I want to know more about her. But I guess Zahir or Combustion Lady, for tops.
Yeah, I think Zahir is interesting, but for me it's definitely Minghua. Voiced by Grey Delisle, waterbending, no arms, waterbending arms, that's just really cool, and I want to see what they do with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like she has much plot going on, but maybe later in the season.
Yeah, I want to know her backstory. I think the mystery will be gone if we find out her backstory for me, but then, I don't know. They're all neat, except Earthbending Dude just seems boring. He's not special.
Tall says no arm bending is just her special technique, like Magma Man and Sparky Boom Lady.
Fair enough. That could be
Yeah,
it.
but like, okay, so I guess on one hand, those like having these combustion powers don't actually make sense. So we can just establish them as like.
Doesn't anything in the show make sense?
Well, we have to do it in the context of the Avatar world, as we've been trying to do. So.
Like it really could just be something like you were suggesting, like the whole like you don't have to speak to perform a spell in Harry Potter. Like I think that's probably the most likely. Like you can, and of course she would be one to develop such a high level technique to be able to bend without movement.
It's like how Toph can see the earth with her feet.
Yeah, see something like that would make sense. Like it happens because you need to. Granted, the Badger Moles taught Toph, so don't know.
Well, the Badger Moles were also blind.
It's true. Well, I just meant like Yes, I just meant that she would have had to develop it herself. Toph like learned from someone or something else.
Maybe she learned from like a sea serpent.
This is very good discussion here.
Yes, very, very serious and.
She learned from what's the sea serpent from? Unagi. She learned from the Unagi.
The giant koi fish? She learned from the giant koi fish.
Not the giant koi fish.
It's different things, gosh, but yeah.
The unagi is the giant koi fish.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
You go rewatch that episode.
Okay, we can
is
just
the giant koi fish.
Warriors of Kyoshi and determine this. Okay. I don't think it's.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you are.
Anyway, let's start to wrap things up. But let's overall these 3 episodes. I thought maybe 3rd, 4th, and 5th best episodes of Korra, like sequentially. Like that's how good. Like for me, just behind A New Spiritual Age and second part of Beginnings. Although maybe the first episode's like even better than those 2 episodes. It was really good. I think episode 2 is going to be a lot of people's personal favorite because of just how funny it was.
Number 1's my personal favorite. Episode 1 was the bomb.
I would rank these in terms of quality 1, 2, then 3. What do you guys think?
I don't really care.
Like I agree. Like one was my favorite, and then 2's funny. I enjoyed it, and then 3, granted we saw it, we'd already seen it, so I was kind of like meh.
Yeah, I mean it should be noted we did see episode 3 in Spanish like a month ago, but
I did.
It was much better in English.
I don't know if it was much better. It's the same thing, but I like Kai's voice is surprisingly not snarky. That's my biggest takeaway from the voice.
Kai kind of sounds like Aang. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like his voice because he's kind of a character that could easily be unsympathetic. It's easy to view him as like this troublemaking kid, and also he's like Jinora likes him. We all have maybe like father-like feelings for Jinora, so we're gonna like inherently not like Kai. But I think the giving him a sympathetic voice is a good call to kind of ground that character.
Yes. Like he's adorable when he's not stealing things.
Yes. Hokkaido Master says maybe she's psychic bending like Yukon and Amon were doing.
Oh, yeah. True facts.
I don't even remember what Yukon and Amon.
They've
been a while.
with their mind.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for.
That's another thing that didn't make sense. Bloodbending during the day.
There's been stuff in Korra that has not made sense, so that's okay.
Who's shooting fireworks? It's not. Oh my
Everybody.
god. It scared the crap out of me. Sorry.
Okay. Fireworks.
It's not July. This is wrong.
It's almost July, but yes. Seemingly not next week, but next episode we're staying in Ba Sing Se because we kind of have a cliffhanger.
Let's have another. How many episodes is that? Like
Or
6
just rage left.
Yeah, Korra's just
episode arc in
leave
Ba Sing Se.
They take Kai, leave Kai alone. I don't think we're going to be 6 episodes in Ba Sing Se. It'll be interesting to see where they take the season go. Yes?
What happened to the zoo that Aang built?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think
Why
that
didn't we hear from that?
I don't know.
I want to hear a line about it because
It's probably a giant zoo. Like, it's humongous now.
I mean, it's supposed to be like outside the walls. I didn't see it.
You didn't. Well, I'm
But that's just
sorry.
it. Though. Have they moved? This sounds kind of dumb. Have they just expanded a humongous amount? Because like, obviously there's more buildings in Ba Sing Se now. But my thing is it wasn't like open really anyway, originally. So did they have to move the walls?
I don't know. We need
Which
a
they'd have the ability to do so. I mean, they built it in the
comprehensive
first
Boston
place.
say and architectural analysis piece on this in order to understand.
A scholarly essay.
A scholarly essay, yes.
20
with sources
pages.
cited, yes, exactly. Okay,
Due
okay.
tomorrow.
Delaney, do tomorrow.
Just
No extensions.
I think, okay, so wrapping things up here. Next week,
Yes.
no Korra, but we will be having a full audio recap of the 3 episodes, talk more in depth. I think we hit on basically everything here, but we can just spend like 30 minutes on Korsami instead of like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or an hour.
Korsami special, like.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, like, it needs
What
to
was
happen.
that one podcast we had, the gendered sexuality part 2? All Korsami.
It's Korsami edition, yeah.
Yes.
New
That's
one
what
of
needs
that.
to happen. There was the
Uh,
Katang special. It just needs to be
We
Korsami.
also had a Zutara special, way longer on the podcast. Anyway, learn more about us. Our podcast page, if you haven't seen us, we're dongbufeng.net/podcast. Dongbufeng spelled like the bottom of the screen here. There you go. And dongbufeng.net/podcast. You will see there's donation information there if you're interested in that. Thank you to our donators, Garrett, Sierra, Nick, Devin, and Lexi.
G-Money, Sierra Mist, Rudy and Tabooty, Nick at Night. There we go.
There you go. Good
Okay.
job. Good job.
It's been a long time since I've been on.
Yes.
I
Thanks for donating. Thank you.
Yeah, you get a cool
for,
nickname when you donate.
also on the podcast page, you can find our bios, which are now enhanced with artwork by our co-host Teresa, and
Crap,
they're
I gotta
awesome.
rewrite my. Don't read it yet, guys. It's terrible.
And you can see us as nations of our choice, like depicted in the drawing form, and it's great. So you should check that out. She's working on going through all of the co-hosts. Thanks to Escalations, Aliburn, Toongal, and others for supporting the podcast on Tumblr by liking and reblogging stuff. You can follow us on Tumblr at Dongbufeng with I think it's dongbufeng.tumblr.com, and also on Twitter at the Dongbufeng address you see at the bottom of the screen at Dongbufeng, and I will tweet from that account. Also at the podcast page, you can send voicemails for our long audio recap, which we'll be doing next weekend.
I was thinking about doing that the other day.
Sending a voicemail. In all seriousness, though, we are limited. I need to find the better plan because I'm limited to 20 a month, and I feel like that's going to be taken up.
Well, it is the 27th.
That's true, actually. Maybe they're reset. And you can email us, dylan@dongbufeng.net. Give us feedback on these video podcasts. I don't know if we're going to be doing them every week. There won't be one next week. There's no episode of Korra. I don't know if we're going to be doing this live thing. Depends on the support we had.
Just be another fun experiment like the minicasts.
I don't know about that. This was... we'll see. Hopefully people like this give us your feedback. And... I think
Post on the forums.
Post on the forums.
It makes me sad. I like stalk them.
Yeah, you can comment there too. And remember, no spoiler comments on this video for episodes 4 to 6 are on the forums. What do you guys want to end on?
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
What was the context of that?
The airbending circus.
You gotta give a little razzle
Like
dazzle.
We didn't discuss that though.
Like, razzle dazzle.
Come on,
I like the idea of them bedazzling Tenzin's bedazzling Tenzin's robes. Like, I think this is a thing that needs to happen. Like, put sequins on there. Yeah. I think Tenzin needs a little. Oh, now I got the mustache.
Melanie on Twitter says Minghua translated into English means tomorrow's flower.
Tomorrow's what? Flower?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
I don't know what the signifies.
All right.
That's pretty.
Airbending.
Them now with playing
That's
with
scary. You should not do that.
Any better ideas, Razzle Dazzle? I don't know.
I was just gonna say Korsami. No,
8%. I like 8%. I think that might be a good one. Tal, by the way, says Queen took down the zoo because she hates animals.
Probably.
That's dumb.
I know.
God.
That sucks.
Animals are people too.
Yes.
Remember that one line? It was like, you get to have a giant bison as your best friend. I like that.
Yeah, like that's a good selling point on.
Yeah.
On the
I have my mini giant bison over here. I mean, it's important.
I mean, I already shaved my head, so.
Thanks to other people who commented that I didn't feature. Renee said, hi guys. So hi, Renee. And storyline was great, and the dialogue was awesome. Lots of humor interaction. Break and Tim did a great job. Also, Josh Hamilton, who wrote episode 2. Great comment.
Yes.
Kenneth said, the villains are awesome. I think that's
True.
good too. And I hope we got all the other comments. I'm not sure we did though. But I'm sorry. Nicholas Bloom said Zuko fans rejoice. So, yes.
Who isn't a Zuko fan though?
Me, but that's okay.
Are there people? I mean, like you don't like hate Zuko.
Obviously I don't hate Zuko, but he's just not my favorite character.
Everybody hates.
I mean, Zuko's not my favorite, but like I don't know how you like hate Zuko. Like he's Zuko. Yeah. He's a dork.
I wonder if that's a Tumblr URL. Everybody hates Zuko.
Everybody hates Zuko. I feel like we've done this with Mako. Anyway, thanks for watching / listening. Thanks for watching / listening, guys. Any last comments, Delaney, Sam?
No,
I'm good.
Okay, let's end on 8%, I think. Unless you want to throw in Razzle Dazzle, that'd be fine too. So yeah, thanks guys. See you next week with the full audio recap. Oh, also subscribe to us on YouTube. Then you can see if we're gonna go live for new podcasts. Okay. Thanks guys for watching. 1, 2, 3, 8%.
8%.
8% Razzle Dazzle.